Support for this podcast comes from listeners and St. Alphonsus Health System, a regional network of hospitals, clinics, and care providers. St. Alphonsus offers comprehensive healthcare services to individuals and families throughout the community. More information about services and locations is available at stalphonsus.org.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's Daily News. Good morning, I'm George Prentice. In Ketchum, they are arguing over travel at the taxpayers' expense. And in McCall, we'll tell you why that resort community is about to go to a 4-day work week. It is Monday, the 10th of November, and here we go with today's stories. The reduction in commercial airline flights may end today with a vote on government funding. On Sunday, our Jamie Geary checked with travelers to see how they've been dealing with the delays.
The flight reduction started Friday. Air travel tracker FlightAware says more than 2,700 flights were canceled across the country on Sunday. Last Thursday, the Federal Aviation Administration announced mandated flight cuts for 40 airports. The Boise airport wasn't on that list, but the whole airline system felt the effects. Mike and Tracy Yagi were traveling back to Redondo Beach, California. Tracy says she kept a close eye on their tickets before arriving to check bags.
Yeah, actually, tomorrow's flight, this exact one that we're going on, is canceled.
The first leg of Jessica Carn's trip to Orlando was first canceled, then delayed. Late Sunday, she was going to get to her final destination into the early hours of Monday.
I have been watching closely because I don't know if they're going to do any further cuts as the time goes on tonight, but we should be leaving Denver by midnight tonight and then getting into Orlando at 5:30 in the mornings.
In an email on Friday, the airport's Jennifer Kronberg said the airport is operating under normal conditions and passengers should check with their airlines for flight delays or cancellations. Federal employees at the Boise airport have been working without pay during the shutdown. Flight reductions are planned to reach 10% by this Friday if no agreement is reached. Jamie Geary, Boise State Public Radio News.
Travel at taxpayer expense has been the topic of much debate at the Ketchum City Council. It started when Ketchum Councilman Trip Hutchinson decided to travel to D.C. to attend what was described as an anti-monopoly summit. Fellow council members Courtney Hamilton and Amanda Breen said traveling to something like that on the taxpayer's dime was probably out of line.
I have asked the staff and the mayor to draft a change in policy so that council travel in the future has to be approved.
I don't see that this has any relationship to what we deal with on a day-to-day basis as policymakers in a small town. And I feel like this one's way out of bounds.
So last week, they proposed a stricter policy, tightening the reins on, number one, the dollar amount for travel, and then number two, requiring that those trips be approved ahead of time. Trip Hutchinson said he thought he was being targeted.
An unfortunate aspect of all of this is what I perceive as an attempt to demonize wanting to educate yourself to do your job better.
Ultimately, the Ketchum Council did vote 3-1 to approve the stricter measures on travel. The City of McCall is about to go to a 4-day work week. City Hall, city business offices, planning, and development are all about to go to that 4-day week. Officials say they hope employees look at it as a benefit, and city officials say they also think it'll help recruit and retain employees. It's a pilot program, and McCall City Manager Forrest Atkinson says this is going to require a robust public outreach campaign to explain to the public just what's about to happen.
To let the public know primarily of new office hours and the fact that certain offices would be closed on Fridays starting December 1st.
So late last week, the McCall City Council gave its okay. The McCall 4-day work week will begin in 3 weeks, December 1st, when business hours will be 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Monday through Thursday. This is another week for millions of Americans who depend on SNAP benefits to find themselves looking for some alternative way of getting food on the table. That while the government shutdown has put them in the middle of a legal fight. Here in Idaho, it's more than 130,000 people not getting their benefits. Right across the border, Oregonians are getting their SNAP benefits for November because the state will pay for it. The money coming from the Oregon Department of Human Services. Kyra Buckley is with Oregon Public Broadcasting.
70-year-old Linda Simon first heard from a neighbor that her SNAP benefits would be filled.
All she said was, "Yay, now we get to eat."
The Eugene resident checked her EBT account, and sure enough, Simon found the usual $133 per month in her account.
I am one grateful woman today.
She says the back and forth on if she would get her benefits has weighed heavily on her mind the last couple weeks. She felt tired and was losing hope.
Now I feel a little more energized. I feel like I got a dopamine hit in my brain.
Simon plans to restock her kitchen with milk, bread, fruit, and the makings for a good pot of vegetable soup. I'm Kyra Buckley reporting.
And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Pettis. We'll see you back here come Tuesday. You can always stay in touch with the news on our website, boisestatepublicradio.org. Tell your friends and family about The Connector and how they can find it anywhere they find their favorite podcasts. For now, from me to you, thanks for listening.
Stay connected with Boise State Public Radio on Instagram. From breaking news and local stories to behind-the-scenes videos, it's where our community comes together. Follow Boise State Public Radio today.